Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Court of Swords. We got a special two-shot for you this week and next. We're going to be jumping back to the necromancer place. That thing. We don't know what's happening.
I cannot wait until you DM.
Why's
You're
that?
in the necromancer place. I don't know.
Well, I don't know what else it's called because I only remember it as like
fight it or whatever. Well,
I just remember the necromancer place.
I don't know if you remember, but the necromancer place's proper name is the Court of Swords, which might be familiar to you as the title
the
of
entirety. He's taking it. He's taking it all over. I didn't realize.
Adam's description is more immersive. Just saying.
That's true. It is true. It is true.
No, I'm just fucking with you. I believe in you, JP. You're gonna be a great GM.
Thank you. I don't know how this show has turned into this so quickly. We need to move on. Ken, you got to take the spotlight. Tell us about yourself. Welcome to the show, by the way.
Oh my gosh!
It's our resident YouTuber replacement.
Oh my God! Here I am, the YouTube guy. Everybody, feel free to hate on me. It's okay. Cemento Skin. Like I said, been doing the YouTubes for a long time, but been making that switch over to Twitch and loving it. I grew up playing the World of Darkness, like White Wolf, not D&D, but White Wolf D10 systems, and didn't play D&D until 5th edition. And I am excited to play this group of guys because I hear it's really hard. I'm gonna learn some stuff. Yeah,
we gotta talk about that White Wolf shit. So, what was your game of choice? Were you a vampire guy? Did you play werewolf?
We dabbled in a little bit of all of it, but the game that ran the longest was Vampire Masquerade.
Mm-hmm. And what was your favorite vampire clan, Ken?
Well, you're grilling them. You're getting grilled right now. This is.
I'm really curious because like
this is what Adam does to new guests. He just makes them feel like shit and belittles the fuck out of them, and then kills them in game.
There's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer. I'm really curious because I'm
going back and like we always had to deal with like the Bruja, and then my guy was a Nosferatu, and I can't remember what they're called. They start with the T, like the noble class. Those are always like the ones. Yeah, those are always like the conniving guys behind the scenes, and
the true edgelord vampires. Nice, I dig it. Yeah, I played some vampire back in the day as well. I think a lot of nerds have that as their like. It's cool to like D&D, but it's still not really very cool to like Vampire the Masquerade. So that's the deeper layer of shame. So good on you for dragging that up. I'm with you. I'm right there.
Did you mention your DM as well? You DM on Saturday evenings, I think is what you were telling me.
Oh yeah, we got Saturday nights. We got Charisma Plus, our own little D&D show that I run for a local group of guys here, and we start at 7 p.m. Central, so you guys can come check it out. Nice. It's not as technical and as hard as this one's going to be, but I like to do it more narrative and try to. I'm really proud of my story, and my characters keep trying to mess my story up. So that's a lot of fun to try to keep that balance.
Sounds about right. Sounds about like D&D. I think I've sold you on the difficulty of Court of Swords because you seem to understand now. You were, if you didn't watch the character creation, we all did our own characters without the help of Adam this time around, which was interesting to say the least. But you were very specific in making sure that you had the most optimal setup as soon as I told you how difficult it was. So I hope you made the right choices. I hope you're confident in your choices.
By the way, Adam, we all have full magic items.
Yeah, it's crazy. We rolled really well on the magic item chart. Yeah.
Cool. Let me just open up my heart attack table here. Let's see.
Dan, you were playing some Destiny. I want to talk for a sec. We won't spend too much time on it, but how much is there in the Destiny 2 beta? Did you do everything in the couple hours you were playing?
Yes, it's very short. There's 1 half-hour long intro mission. That's single player. There's about a 30-minute dungeon with one boss, and then there's the one PvP map, and that's all there is. Okay. So it takes about an hour and a half to go through it all.
Did you enjoy what you played? And you're also not a big Destiny guy to begin with. I think you played through the story, but that was it, right?
Yeah, I played the story in the dungeon, and I did the PvP map just to get a taste of everything. It's much improved over Destiny 1, but that's after like years of patching and stuff, so it feels a lot better. Yeah. But I'm playing with a controller, which I don't like, so I'm waiting for that PC version. Yeah. I played the PC version at the Destiny 2 event, and it ran really well and played really good, so I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. All right. That's our 30-second update on Destiny. Thanks for being brief on that. I know people will whine if it got too long. I also know you've been playing some Final Fantasy 12.
I beat it, yeah.
Are you done with it? Are you going to do the actual game, the fucking side story stuff? Because I'm not. I beat the game and I'm done with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, do I want to spend hours leveling everyone up to 99 and going on to some really hard bullshit mechanic fight just to, over and over again? Like, no.
Yeah.
Even the designers know that that's boring, right? They're like, you know what? You could do it if you want. Here's a fast forward button. Just go ahead if you really need to.
Thank God for that.
Thank God for fast forward button, man.
Some of those dungeons were just like excruciatingly long.
The Pharaoh's place, the like light tower place you go to, that place sucked. I played that when I was a kid at like 18 or 19 without fast forward, and it fucking sucked. It sucks so bad.
And then the next dungeon after, it's just like another huge giant 100-floor maze of shit that was like, oh my God.
Yeah. But all the side stuff in that game, there's a lot, which is kind of nice to be able to say like, hey, there's another like 100+ hours of side content that you can go and do. Even with the ×4 fast forward, there's a hunt. The last hunt takes about 2 hours to kill, just nonstop fighting, just standing there with your gambits going off. So there's enough content. It's just beat the story.
Yeah,
that was fine.
You can definitely tell they had just released 11. And they're like, let's try to bring the single player to be closer to the multiplayer kind of game. And
it is very much unlike every other Final Fantasy in that sense. Like story-wise, character-wise, fight-wise, even like the names of stuff. Like all the Espers are named nothing like any other Esper summon in Final Fantasy. But it's not
because
bad.
they use the Esper names for other shit, right? Like the ships in the fleet are all like Shiva and Ifrit and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I got so excited, like, Bahamut's on the horizon, it's coming. I'm like, oh my God, Bahamut.
Yeah.
And then it's just a ship, and I'm like,
it's just some derpy looking ship.
It's the name of the dude's Chevy. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's just like an old truck. Yes, this is Bahamut. Old reliable Bahamut over here. I've been lugging this hot water heater around the back of him.
Yeah.
One thing I did find funny about the game was that there's so much similarity of that game to Star Wars. Like, there's so many similar themes across both of them.
Yeah.
Playing Final Fantasy 12 now, like as like a full-grown adult with a better understanding of media, I feel like I was such an idiot as a kid when I played that game, and it kind of occurred to me, I was like, man, I really like this. But now when I played it, I'm like, oh, I like it because it's Star Wars. Like, it's the same thing. It's so obvious, and I do not know how that just like went over my head before. Yeah, it's nuts.
Fran is a slightly sexier Chewbacca.
Yep.
Only a little though, like just a tiny
little.
Tiny bit. Yeah. That game's basically Star Wars and Final Fantasy, 100%.
Which is funny because Star Wars and Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy and Star Wars have always been like really tightly connected, right? Like FF6 is also like Star Wars, Final Fantasy 2. So
yeah.
It's not new. It's just really obvious in this one.
Yep. What's on your list after that, Dan? Now that you kind of played all the Destiny stuff, where are you jumping to next?
I'm still on that, like, oh God, there's still another month of summer left.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. That's why I was curious. Because Fortnite comes out, I think that starts on the 20th. That's more like multiplayer focused, but it might be
I'm
kind of
definitely
fun.
going to try that one out because I love tower defense, and that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Dan, are you going to play that Dream Daddy? Are you playing Dream Daddy, Dan?
If they release it, yeah.
Assuming it comes out.
Yeah.
Are you gonna play that?
I'll play Dream Daddy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know that we were talking about that on. You guys were talking about that on Nebula Jazz. So have they said when that's actually supposed to ship?
Tomorrow.
Supposedly.
Oh. Yep. Okay. You still can't buy it. It's not like a purchase and then it'll load in, but supposedly the release date's tomorrow.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's see.
And I saw you hit Diamond yesterday in Overwatch. After, I think your tweet said 5 seasons of Platinum.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks. I mean, I got to... So 3,000 is Diamond level for people who don't know. I hit 3,008 and then immediately lost like 3 games in a row.
But you don't lose the Diamond. You're Diamond forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
But it felt like such a hollow victory because I was just like, I'm going to lose this instantly, and then I did. So...
I was top 500 for about 30 minutes. So look, I understand. it's annoying when that shit happens. But you hit it once, you can just say, yeah, I'm Diamond.
Yeah.
Even if the numbers don't line up, you got the thing, man. They can't fucking call you out. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Well, it's like I'll be called out no matter what. It's like half the time people will say, "Man, you're so good. You should be in Masters with that Farah." And then other people will come in and they're just like, "She got boosted to this. I don't know why you guys watch her stream."
Yeah.
So no matter what you do, you just can't.
You lose. You just lose.
Them haters.
Yeah.
Them haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll just always lose.
But diamonds are forever. It's okay. Every kiss begins with K.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks for just all the advertising stuff, Ken. You got any more diamond advertisements there?
DDP yoga.
Yeah. She got it at Jared's. Or wait, no. Is that what is the? She got it from. Is that
She went to
Jared's?
Jared's.
She went to Jared's. Is that what it is?
She went to Jared's.
Yeah.
Well, I got your attention. Let me tell you about Squarespace.
Jesus Christ. And what about you? What's on your I guess hit list of games to play? Are you still doing the Overwatch Rainbow Six grind?
Yeah, I mean, they've been trying to do this whole Operation Hell thing where they're like saying that they're fixing the game, but it doesn't really feel like they've been fixing very much so far anyway. And I've still been playing. I finished the main Witcher game for the second time, and I still have the DLC to do, so that's still another like
another 700 hours or so. Yeah.
I don't know what games are coming out. I don't really have any interest in the like Dream Daddy game. It's not really my style, but I don't know what else is coming out soon.
Fortnite this weekend, and then it's kind of dead till August, like late August, I think.
Life is Strange 2 comes out like during PAX, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I'm not that interested in playing a prequel though. I think we might have had. I don't know if that was on. I've had this discussion where I don't want to play a prequel before. I don't know if that was here, Drop Frames, or what show it was on, but I don't know. I want to see what happens after the fucking world gets destroyed, not before.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I got tilted playing that game and stopped playing it after it made me find all these bottles. Just couldn't handle it.
That's the worst part of that whole game.
The bottles?
The fucking worst.
I don't remember the bottles.
You're in the junkyard and you're walking around. They're trying to find the fucking bottles so she can break them.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't.
It feels like that part feels like a whole other game. It's like when you're playing an action game and suddenly they're like, yeah, but what if stealth though? Like here, just have a stealth level. Same thing for that. They're like, yeah, just I don't know, just pixel hunt this thing for 2 hours. Why not? It's cool.
My tolerance for that shit is very, very low now. And since when I stream, I have access to chat. It's literally, hey chat, what do I do? Come on, just tell me right now. Like that happened a lot in Final Fantasy because I'd played it before. I was just like, all right, chat, tell me what fucking lights do I hit to move on in this shitty fucking dungeon so that I'm not just going in a circle over and over. And they would just tell me. It's great. It's fantastic. It would suck playing games by myself is what I'm trying to get to.
Right. I've had that feeling before for sure where I've been playing a game and I've just been like, God, if I didn't have like 500 people just telling me the exact correct way to do this, I would have to look it up and figure it out myself.
You'd have to Google and go to GameFAQs yourself.
Yeah, fuck GameFAQs. I got servants for that shit. Tell me the answers.
You gotta do it anyway. They'll be like, hey, you go this way. No, you go that way. And you're like, you guys, which way do I go?
I like if GameFAQs got in a fight with itself.
Yeah.
I love peeking at chat for the answer and then pretending like I solved it myself.
Oh, yeah, that's the best.
I've done that before.
Like, oh, he's so good at puzzles. Like,
wow, it took me hours. How'd you do that?
Oh my God, first try. Whoa.
Oh man, streamer secrets right there. Well, cool. Let me know if you're gonna play both. I guess if anyone's gonna play Fortnite, let me know. Because I think that game's definitely not gonna be fun as a solo experience, as a tower defense. So if you guys are gonna play, hit me up and we'll try to get something together. Ken, what about you? I didn't ask. What have you been playing lately besides doing the DM thing? Nothing really.
Playing some. I got like 3 games I play in D&D currently.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of that. But goddamn YouTube jokes, Jesus.
You can't edit that. We can't do a zoom in
live. So
yeah, this is live.
What?
What? Yeah. JP maybe didn't mention that. So you're stuck with your bad jokes.
Yeah.
Just do like Dan and make them all bad.
Yeah.
I've been playing Danganronpa, the Ultimate Despair Girls lately.
Okay.
Getting ready for the 3rd one coming out. I love those games.
I've never played one of those before.
I
You ever played them?
Northgard. Forgot about that.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh.
Interrupt you.
Gotcha.
I can never tell if you guys can hear me or not because my mic does that thing where it cuts out for some reason.
No, we
so
we heard you interrupt and like he was talking, then you're like, yeah, Northgard. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Anyways.
Like Northgard, where's that at?
Yeah, I think that's the Skyrim mod. I'm not sure. I don't know what is Northgard.
It's like an RTS like settler management thing. It reminds me a lot of like kind of like Civ and what's that game? Oh shit, the name of it is like escaping me right now. It's like Viking based and there's little hexagon kind of things that you have to like
Age of Empires?
Banner Saga?
I think that might be it.
Let's just keep saying
Mario
games.
64. Where are we at?
There's Vikings in them. StarCraft.
Adam is banished, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's in early access right now. But it was pretty fun. I liked it. It's just, I hated that I got attacked every 4 seconds by the enemies. So I turned off the enemies, and then I just played for fun.
Yeah, sounds great.
For like RTS people.
Sounds great. Danganronpa, is that like an RPG, Ken? My non-readness is showing.
It's kind of like a visual novel / murder mystery. The original Danganronpa is you're a bunch of kids you're trapped inside of a school that all the windows are barred, you can't see out, and you pretty much have to play a killing game. The way you escape the school is one person has to kill someone, and then they go to a trial and they have to get away with it, and then they can leave and everyone else dies. So they give them different reasons, like their families are, being tortured and stuff like that, to make them do this stuff to each other. And they're just like high school kids. It comes off all cutesy. And the main bad guy's like this little bear that's like, oh, Monokuma, ha ha. And then like the next scene is someone like getting stabbed in the eyeball, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So it's a very dark game hidden under some cutesiness. But yeah, so your guy goes around and he's trying to save everyone. He's trying to get everyone to live long enough until they can find a way to get out. And so you're investigating when a murder happens, and then you figure out who did it. And when you figure out who did it, then they get killed in like an elaborate way by the Monokuma bear, and then you move on to the next day, and you're like, oh my God, who can I trust? Who can I not trust? It's interesting.
Is that a PS4 game? What do you play that on? PC?
PS4? It's on Steam.
Okay.
It was originally on the PlayStation, like PS Vita, and the one I'm playing now, Ultra Despair Girls, is kind of like in between. Like there's a bunch of kids that were abused, and they're murdering all the adults. And again, it's like cutesy, but super dark.
All right, that's niche if I've ever heard it.
I love those stories. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a broken person. I don't know. Like playing Vampire and then the World of Darkness and playing Danganronpa. Yeah.
Maybe so. I don't know.
You're in the right place. You're in the right place. It's fine.
Yeah. Adam, what about you? What have you been up to? I saw you were at the bank today. That's an exciting thing to talk about.
Yeah, I was at the bank, the Canadian financial services system. It's great. No, I just hecked up my taxes, and I owed them slightly more money than I thought, so I had to go to the bank and fix that. Being a grown up, it's the best.
Taxes suck.
But I just been prepping for this and for Worldwide Wrestling on the weekend, kind of getting all my ducks in a row before I go to Japan. So just usual business for July. I also am playing Final Fantasy 12, though I can't really play more than a few hours of it at a time because the fast forward thing just drives me bananas. Like it's necessary, but I can't handle it. I'm just like, okay, just let's get over with this.
Yeah.
I'm just like waiting for that Dream Daddy game to come out. I'm gonna play that a little bit, and then probably just some miscellaneous bullshit till it's Japan time.
Yep.
And then Gen Con. I'm actually kind of hype about Gen Con this year because it's huge.
Where's Gen Con again? Is that Atlanta?
Glorious Indianapolis.
That's right. We've had this conversation.
Yep. We have, yeah.
And really likes Indianapolis.
Yeah, I also do. But Gen Con is sweet. Gen Con's gonna be great. It's always fun. It's become a tradition that Luke, the dude that owns Burning Wheel, they publish Dungeon World. And so he handles all the Gen Con events and stuff for me. And as a joke, last year he put an event in the calendar because Gen Con, it's not like PAX where like for PAX you submit an event or a panel or whatever, and you gotta wait and like you can get a badge if they take it. They'll just take anything for Gen Con. They have an infinite amount of space, and they will just give anybody a panel for like literally any reason. So Luke went a little crazy with Power last year and submitted like 40 panels just for kicks.
Jesus.
And one of them was just me by myself, and he was just like, I don't know, just go talk for an hour. And I was like, oh, okay, well, it's on the let's do it. And I went, and a bunch of people showed up, and so now the like Adam Coble Power Hour has become a thing where I just don't plan anything and I just go and like talk shit for an hour. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to that.
That's great.
Yeah. And then just like playing games and checking out new shit. It's kind of like an E3 or whatever for board games and tabletop RPGs. So when something new is coming out, people will often release it at Gen Con. Fantasy Flight booth is like jammed the whole weekend with like a huge line like all the way out the convention center.
People trying to buy shit.
They always release stuff and they're like, all right, well, we got a new board game or we got a new role-playing game or whatever, new ships for X-Wing, any of that bullshit. And we're going to make just enough of them to take to Gen Con. And then we won't make the actual thing for like a half a year. right? So like if you want it now, come on down and get it, and then we're gonna finish like beta testing it and doing all that shit, and then we'll release the for real thing, around Christmas or whatever later on. And so there's always a huge lineup. And pretty much everybody does that. They'll bring something to Gen Con that you can only get at Gen Con. And so for people who are like really into getting like early access to board games, people who are like hardcore about that stuff, Gen Con is a bit of a mecca, but as a result is always like totally nuts.
I've never been to anything outside of like video game conventions. Maybe I guess RTX is kind of borderline everything else, but is it just like a giant sea of merchandise, or what is is it a bunch of cosplayers, or
So the thing about the reason that having it in Indianapolis is useful is that Indy has a ton of convention space. So like it's bigger. There's more room there than just about any of the PAXs except for maybe East. Like I'd say it's about as big as East, maybe a little bigger.
Okay.
There's an exhibition hall where there's booths and stuff, and it's like twice as much space as like PAX East is, but the booths are all smaller, right? Because tabletop games companies, even the big ones like Fantasy Flight, they just don't need that much room. There aren't huge screens. It's much smaller scale on a booth level, but there's tons of them. So there's like 4 or 5 times more various people. Like Chessex has 6 booths at Gen Con. So
Really?
that no matter where you are, you can just turn, and somewhere within 10 feet that you can buy dice. Yeah, so tons and tons of that like retail space. But then they have all these other rooms. So like Wizards and Paizo, they do all their organized play stuff. So there's like, 200 games of D&D or Pathfinder happening basically all the time.
So it's kind of just like a large comic book shop.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
With a ton of like actual play space.
Okay, I'm getting it.
Yeah, so it's pretty nuts. But it's fun, and this year's the 50th anniversary, so they've been doing it a long ass time.
50? Are you what?
50 years, yeah.
What was the first year of Gen Con?
Well,
was that D&D?
I don't like to do math on stream, but I would imagine it was 50 years ago.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, what existed the first year? What existed in the tabletop space 50 years ago? I guess board games.
War games,
like Battleship,
really early D&D. It was a war games convention. So like D&D came from a game called Chainmail, and Chainmail is a fantasy adaptation of a bunch of like tabletop war game stuff that used to be around in the early 60s. And so Gen Con was there for that. For like,
was it a convention for tic-tac-toe? Is that what occurred?
No.
Okay.
Right.
But
yeah, and then they made D&D, and so it very quickly became kind of about that because D&D took off so fast.
That's crazy to me. It has existed for I didn't realize that conventions for this type of audience existed 50 years ago.
I mean, so just to give you some stats from Gen Con, the first Gen Con held at the Horticultural Hall in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, had 96 attendees. So, in 1968, the 100 people who gave a shit about this stuff versus now, let me see, Gen Con last year was 61,000 people.
Pretty crazy.
And it's got so much space, they almost never sell out, but it's sold out this year. So it's going to be bananas.
Damn.
Yeah. It's going to be cool, but it's going to be busy. And I'm going to just be coming back off 2 weeks in Japan. So I'm going to be just like a frazzled mess, but
that'd be great.
That's fine.
That'd be awesome.
It's cool. It'd be like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, but with jet lag instead of ether.
Yeah, just walk around with
maybe
sick
also
shades on.
ether, but jet lag.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. This chat's cracking me up. They're like, where's Max at? And who's this secondary Adam you guys got?
Yeah, we brought in Ken's our resident Adam cosplayer. He'll be at all the cons this year where Adam can't make it, serving as Adam. It'd be great.
Then Ann's like, "What? All guys with color hair? They look the same."
Yeah, I didn't. It didn't occur to me that you guys both had color. You don't have a top knot though. You got to go top knot, Ken. I don't know what.
I was actually thinking about like cutting the sides off because it it's turned into like a helmet under the under these headphones, and it'd probably be pretty similar. It'd just she'll be like, "Hey guys." I don't know why, but Dan's comment earlier about like Gassy took some Beano and he's no longer Gassy.
That's Dan.
I had to mute myself a little bit because it was so bad, but hilarious.
That's Dan.
That's my humor.
Yeah, that's Dan's humor. You're welcome to join in on that. I guess we should also. A lot of people are asking where Max is, and I'm sure that will continue. Max is in the Philippines right now on vacation for till the 27th, and so I thought he got back next week, and we were going to be able to do one show before Adam departed, but he gets back on the 27th, so we've been able to do no shows, which means no Court of Swords for like 7 weeks. So we decided to do this 2-shot. So a huge shout out to not only the cast for just jumping and creating characters in like 5 hours, but also Adam for designing this entire encounter in like 24. So shout out to all those and everyone for coming out.
I like a challenge.
Yeah.
I like a challenge. I'm into it.
Yeah. So with that, I guess we can go ahead and start. We don't have to do any character creation. We just begin. It's great.
All right, cool. So for folks who've been watching Court of Swords for a while, just to kind of like lay the groundwork, this takes place, this little vignette, this Court of Swords Gaiden, takes place in the same time frame as the current game. So while all of the business is happening in the City of Brass, this is a sort of meanwhile time elsewhere. So we're not going back in time. You don't have to worry about like retcons or anything. We're moving sideways, which means we're going to get to see firsthand the results of the dramatic failure to prevent the spread of necromancy and foul influence in the Court of Swords that we saw in the first batch of episodes. So if you've been watching a while, you know that the first arc was sort of a tonally dark preview arc of the way the rest of the show is going to be, and we lost some magistrates to a bunch of undead menace. So we're going to come back to the Court of Swords. So for everybody, the Court of Swords is one of the 4 courts that makes up the world, the civilizations of the world. It's kind of in the middle of the imagined land space of our campaign. There's a great ocean to the east where the Court of Cups and the Archipelago lie. To the north of the Court of Swords is the Court of Coins and the Shulin Valley, which is where we've seen kind of our second season take place. The Court of Swords itself is in the middle. We're gonna jump in the middle of the season of fire, which is kind of the world's equivalent of summer. So it is hot. It's humid. Most of the Court of Swords is jungle or riverland. In the north, there are several large cities, and kind of the majority of the court lives there. That's where the king and the queen and the knight and the page live in that area. But most of the court's food supply and rural population lives in an area in the south known as the Riverlands. And the Riverlands is generally considered to be like a fairly quiet, placid place, populated mostly by humans. In the mountain regions, there are a couple of sort of dwarven enclaves. The dwarves have been moving away from their ancestral lands and into the cities more over the last few hundred years. And so it's an area populated mostly by small towns, villages, little hamlets, rice farmers, fishers on the river, and sometime maybe 7 or 8 years ago, there was a series of villages that had lost contact with the Court of Swords. We hadn't heard from them in a while, so the court sent some of their magistrates to go and investigate, and then never heard from them. Maybe sent some more. And things escalated from there. And cut to now, the Court of Swords has been in conflict. It's not an official war, because if they declared war, there would have to be someone to declare war on. There's a guerrilla conflict taking place between the army of the Court of Swords and an internal kind of occupying force led by a figure that's known kind of colloquially as the Necromancer King. Known for his control over the powers of life and death, which in this setting is particularly heinous. You know, most people don't like necromancy, no matter where you go in the sort of D&D multiverse. But here, the process of birth, death, and reincarnation is hugely important to human culture, especially. And so, bringing the dead back to life, defiling spirits, preventing people from being able to reincarnate is considered the province of the Mara, which are these demonic entities that abhor the power of the gods. And so this Necromancer King seems to be able to raise an army from the corpses of both friend and enemy alike. And so the court has gone to war with him, and the Court of Swords is losing that war. They have a decent army, probably the best army in all the courts, but they're fighting against a foe that has significant magical empowerment, and the gods seem unwilling to intervene. It has not been going well, and so that's where we find you. So the four of you are members of a doomed legion of Court of Swords soldiers. You, until very, very recently, belonged to the 25th Infantry Legion of the Court of Swords, known also as the White Blades of Heaven. The reason you no longer belong to that infantry legion is that they no longer exist. All but the four of you have expired in battle against the Necromancer King. So what I want to do to get us started is to get introduced to these characters, find out a little bit about you in the moment, and figure out just exactly how fucked you all are. So does anybody want to go first?
Well, where are we introducing our characters at? I guess is the question.
I just need to know who the first person is. I've got a thing. I've got love letters for you.
Oh. Well, I spoke up first. I'll go.
All right.
My character's name is pronounced Mop, even though it's spelled Map. It's Vietnamese for fat.
Mm-hmm.
It's a name that I picked up amongst the army, or my time in the army.
So it's
a term of endearment.
It's not your actual name.
No, it's a term of endearment.
Like calling your friend Chubbs or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure you love it.
What was that? What was the name that I was gonna go with that I told you guys, but it was like impossible to pronounce?
Chunk.
Chunk. Yeah, Chunk is spelled like D-U.
D-O-A-N, but the D has like a line through it.
Yeah. It's spelled D-O-A-N. It's got some weird characters in it, and it's pronounced like blah. And so I was like, that's way too complicated. Let's just go with Mom.
Yeah, one challenge of naming things in the Court of Swords, because it's inspired by Thai and Khmer and Vietnamese culture, is that as a white person who predominantly speaks English, Vietnamese is very difficult to pronounce. So, we mangle our way through these things.
Yeah. So my character's name is Mop. It's a term of endearment. I don't get offended by it. In terms of appearance, I'm about 5'11", borderline 300 pounds-ish. I have a bowl cut haircut with just black hair. Looks very much just like a really big, overweight guy. And I'm just wearing normal street clothes. I've got a spear on my back, short sword on my side. You were going to ask a question, Adam?
Yeah, I would love it if you could roll some dice for me, but I want to read something to you first.
Okay.
So, they at the monastery, they promised you that you'd have an opportunity to make a difference here, right? That the Riverlands were overrun, and that the people of these lands would welcome you and your legion as saviors. But sadly, when you showed up to the jungle, this proved to be just another lie. Roll 2d6, add 1, and we will find out what's what.
Okay. 6.
Oh dear.
Bad.
Okay. Well,
I think that I rolled a 6 on the last time we did one of these.
I think you did too. All right. So had you rolled a 10 plus, I'd get you to choose one of these bad things.
JP, you actually did plus > instead of 1.
Oh, so I got 7.
You got 7. All right. If you get a 7 and 9, you only have to choose 2 of the 3 bad things.
Great.
So choose 2 of these 3 things. Either the battle cost you more than just your unit. You lost a limb or an eye. You pick. You forgot to read your fortunes before you set out, and the gods are looking elsewhere. Or somebody knows you're still alive, and word is getting around that the company has survivors. Hunters are surely on their way.
I will take the first and the third one, because I don't want the gods against me.
Okay. All right. So what is it? You lose an eye? You lose an arm? You lose a leg?
How does it have to be full arm?
I mean,
or can it be a finger?
No, it's got to be like mangled and unusable. You don't have to have your whole arm hacked off, but like it's dead. You're not gonna get.
Okay, I got an eye patch on. I lost an eye.
Okay, all right. So you don't have an eye patch. You recently, like, the battle you were just in has like killed one of your eyes. So you could get a patch, but right now you have a wound that has killed one of your eyes.
Okay.
Okay. So you got one eye and then somebody knows that the four of you.
We got hunters coming out.
All right, somebody's hunting. Okay, great. Who
I'll
wants to go next?
well.
I'll go next.
Yeah. All right.
My character is Bellion Dim. He's a human wizard. He looks very frazzled and has almost a constant confused look on his face. Like he just, when you look at him, you're like, "Are you?" Like you just want to ask him, like, "Are you okay?" Like he just looks lost in thought or confused all the time. His hair is all messed up. His shirt's like half tucked in. It's very wrinkled, like he's never even thought about ironing it. Like he just looks disheveled all the time.
Excellent. Okay, cool. All right. So here's the thing. So you're a wizard. Your power source is the fountain. Unlike a cleric, you don't have to pray for power. You use your words and your gestures to tap into the sacred geometry of the universe to power your spells. And in this hellscape, it feels like the fountain's running red with blood. You can feel the Mara everywhere, fucking with your magic. Your unit all died. You're in the deep shit now. So roll 2d6 + 1. We'll see just how screwed you are.
7.
All right, you got 7. All right, so same thing. You get to avoid one of the 3. So choose 2 of these. Your magic is unpredictable, warped by the demon taint of this horrible battlefield. You've managed to attract the attention of some particular specific demonic force, or an enemy spellcaster left you with a deep wound in your soul. So that's great.
Oh God, there's not even a slightly positive one there.
No, they're all.
Okay. I will go with.
What was the first one?
Magic is unpredictable, warped by the demon taint of this horrible battlefield.
Ooh, go with that one. You could have like a little shriveled arm or something. That'd be fun.
Well, that one would be the third one, right? The deep soul wound.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you're right.
The first one is that like there's something between you and accessing the fountain that is being warped in translation. Your magic is unpredictable in some fashion.
Okay.
You don't understand.
Don't do that.
I will go for the bottom 2 then.
Okay, so you've managed to attract the attention of a demon of some kind, and you have a deep soul wound.
Oh, we're gonna have so many
Great
bad
start.
guys that are hunting us show up right at the start. Like, all right, the hunters are here, the demons are here.
They've joined and created an army.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Roll initiative.
All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Okay.
Sure. So my character is Daxa the Song. I'm a bard. I can't sing because I sound like this right now. So don't expect that.
Interpretive dance. That's what it's called again. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm so inspired. I'm inspired.
Bardic inspiration. She's like kind of middle-aged woman who is like was kind of forced into fighting because of in a performance that she put on, which was anti-war, and the general or whoever didn't like it and said you can either die or join the fight to see what it's really like. So she hates being here and is very like, I'm a performer, and doesn't like having to fight.
Yeah, and that's actually very accurate with the way that the Court of Swords operates, right? Like dissent means punishment. They're not big on free speech so much in the Court of Swords. Cool. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, it looks like maybe you'll have an opportunity to get out of the army because your unit's been dismembered. So I want to ask you first, how did you manage to survive? There was a horrible battle that your unit lost. How is it that you're still alive?
Like me specifically?
Yeah, you particularly.
Started running away before the fighting started.
Right, so you were nearby and you saw the battle go.
Did we see that, or how? Like,
I mean, we'll talk about that.
Okay, I just need to know if I hate your character or not. That's all.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
all right. So you just.
She's not very nice.
Okay. This is a weird bard. Bards. Okay.
You made a point of just don't be there where the killing happens.
Are you going the route where you insult us and we're inspired? Is that what's gonna happen?
Nice. Yeah. The pickup artist style of barding. You just neg them until they do what you want.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I mean, that's good. That's good that happened for you. Let's have you roll that 2d6 + 1 and see what you get.
No.
Do it. Fucking do it.
Seeing if that would work or not.
God damn.
All right.
Wow.
Look at that. All right. So same jam. You got to choose 2 of the 3 bad things. So in your attempt, despite surviving the battle, and you can explain to me how it happened. You can choose. You got a bad wound that just won't heal right. Maybe this happened during the battle. Maybe it happened before. But something about you is hurt and won't get fixed right. You saw something horrific in the battle that you just can't shake, and it haunts you. Or you were in charge of all the equipment, but you lost it. So everybody starts with a weapon, their armor, and one other thing, and that's that.
I will take the first 2.
Interesting. Okay.
Good call.
All right. So how'd you get hurt?
Could I say like I suffered some kind of like throat wound, or like I inhaled smoke and now can't sing anymore, and thus very angry.
Yeah. So you're having these horrible nightmares. You witnessed a terrible battle from a distance, and you inhaled something that has causing you to get fucked up from the inside. There's something wrong with your lungs. I like it. All right, cool. So I guess that leaves our Paladin. What's up with the Paladin? Tell us a thing.
All right, the Paladin's name is Luther Loomis. He comes from a family of where the men were paladins, and he takes a lot of pride in that. A lot of old school paladins, and he wishes to live up to that kind of old stereotypical justice like paladin. And speaking of justice, I guess his the god of choice would be justice for playing the tarot card rule with the gods. Okay.
Yep.
He has blonde hair, about shoulder width, a slightly crooked nose where it's been broken before, a full beard, wearing splint armor, long sword, and shield, hopefully, if I don't lose my arms in these rolls.
It's certainly possible. Cool. All right. Well, Luther, if you could roll 2d6 and add 1 for me. You gotta do slash R.
Yeah.
Oh, slash R, sorry. These things. 2d6 plus 1. All right.
Hey!
Hell yeah! I got all the things.
So you only you only have to choose 1 of these 3 things. Yeah. So they're all bad, but So see the world. They said join the army. They said save the world. They said now everybody you went to training with, except these assholes, are dead, really seriously dead. You're out here in the middle of nowhere, and everything and everybody wants to kill you. So you roll your 2d6. We'll see where you start on this journey up the river to hell. Pick 1 of these 3 things. Your devotion to the fountain and to the gods is a beacon in the darkness, and everybody around here can feel it. Or the ambush and massacre are somehow your fault. Or you've been bitten by some horrible creature and you can feel something inside you changing. Just any of those 2.
All right. Well, see, the first one sounds like terrible. Oh, they're all bad.
Yeah.
They're all really bad. I guess the
good thing you didn't fail this roll, and then you get all 3 of them.
Yeah.
I feel like the second one's gonna be the most RP-ish. I'll take the second one.
All right. So let's talk about that for a moment, shall we? Why is the ambush that led to the massacre of the 25th Infantry Legion? How is that your fault?
How could it be my fault?
Well, I mean, so generally these kinds of things, if they fall on one person, it's a result of duplicity. So like you're a dirty traitor. So that's possible. It could be ignorance, right? You could have just goofed something up, right? Or it could be overextension, right? Like you tried to lead a charge that failed. You inspired people to do a thing that they were not ready for.
That's the one. That's what I was leaning towards in my head. Just try to inspire our group that we had them on the run. We're pushing them back. We got to go deeper. We had to go deeper and save all the good people of this land. And during one of my rousing speeches, trying to get us prepared for battle, they came in and just wiped everyone out.
So it falls on you then, and we can figure it out as we play. But I'm very curious how Luther feels about the fact that you gave this speech and whipped everybody into a state of heroic frenzy, and then everyone died except you and these goons. I'm curious to see if you get that Paladin guilt.
Oh, absolute failure. Oh,
yeah, and plus everybody else knows it, right? This was the big moment. This was the like Gandalf coming over the mountain. This was the William Wallace riding back and forth in front of the troops, like, come on, everybody. And then it went to shit. So the other three characters, all three of you witnessed this speech, and then the immediate like failure thereafter. So you know that it's up to you how hard you want to push on it, but you know that this would never have happened. There was like a plan to withdraw, but Johnny Hero here decided that it would be better to ride into battle and get everybody killed.
Had to bring glory to my name and my family, make him proud, make Granddad proud.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
Granddad, he's gonna be a zombie and come back and get me or something.
Yeah, he's gonna come beat your ass because you ruined the family.
You got everybody killed.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we fade in on what would more traditionally be like a shot at the end of a show about war, right? We have the kind of somber music playing. We have a vast field. I think this battle took place probably at an important juncture in the road. There's one main road that leads from the urban centers in the north out to the ocean in the south, and the roads branch off and kind of follow the rivers. But this took place at a significant crossroads, some weeks away from the closest forward base. And so we see this crossroad. Maybe we get a long panning shot of the battlefield, and there's like just bodies all over the place. It looks, if you were to take a glance at it, it looks like a fresh legion fought maybe not so fresh one, because the reason the Necromancer King keeps having all of these soldiers is because every time the Court of Swords sends somebody to kill them, he has them killed and then brings them back as zombies. So you were fighting people that maybe you recognized from camp from months back. And so there's just bodies all over the place. We see carrion birds kind of picking through the corpses. Then we get this kind of long shot across a road sign with a sign pointing, and it's written in a language that at a glance we wouldn't recognize, but we get subtitles, and it says Stout Wall Fortress, and it points to the north. And then we fade from this sort of long panning shot scene to the group of you. Now, I think we can still hear kind of in the battle like the moans of the dying, or it might be the moans of the newly risen. But there is a placidity to the battlefield. There's a kind of cloying heat in the air, and the fight is clearly over. The main force has left. And the bodies now just wait to either be picked over by scavengers or for one of the Necromancer King's corpse collectors to come and pick them up. So, I guess who's the most together here? Like, I guess probably Anne, your character, Daxa, you maybe are coming out of hiding, right? Like, because there may still be survivors, and you're certainly not going to get out of here alone. Yeah. What do we see? Where are you?
What kind of like landscape was this? There's like
so the area that the war is taking place in, the Riverlands, is some miles wide of kind of marshy terrain. It varies from hills to coast. And in the middle, it's mostly jungle, like thick jungle, or areas where the jungle has been cleared to make room for rice farming villages. So this area is probably a road down the middle, now covered in bodies, and then rice fields to either side. But the water, instead of being kind of clear or murky with mud, is just like thick and red and swarming with flies. So there's like rice fields on either side, and there are weapons sticking up in a kind of gross approximation of planted sprouts. Right, we see like a spear poking up, and we see like someone's discarded sword kind of coming up out of the water, and that's what you see around you.
Great. Let's say that can I say that there was like shrubbery or like a bush or something that I was hiding behind?
Yeah, totally.
You're PUBGing it up right now.
I peek out to like see if there's any fighting still happening.
Yeah. So it looks like the last of the fighting has ended. You got to witness the whole thing. At one point, the Necromancer King's sorcerers were kind of cutting down people who were trying to run with magical force. So you peer out, and I think you see somebody else is alive, pulling themselves from the pile of corpses. I think maybe you see Dim. You see Dim kind of like pulling himself free. Dim, a body, someone tougher and cooler than you that you were hiding behind, died and fell on you, and you've been buried under their like moldering corpse for some hours. But now it's quiet enough that maybe you can squirm out from under that hot body and get free. That's who you spot, Daxa. You see Dim kind of crawling out from under this body.
Cool. So we're the 25th Infantry, right?
You are the 4 remaining members of that infantry. Yep.
Right. Okay. Cool. So I see him like kind of moving around, and he's been like buried underneath his body, and I call out. It's like, "You there? 25th Infantry? Yes."
I thought you were dead, sir. Are you speaking?
Sir, how dare you? I'm a woman. I like throw my like cloak over my shoulder.
Oh, are you a talking bush?
Like come out from behind the bush and like stand up and look around. And I walk over to him. He's like trapped under a body, right?
Yeah. How free have you gotten yourself from this corpse?
Dim is not very strong, so this guy on top of me is very, very heavy and thick, like a big bruiser. And I'm just like, could you pull on me, please?
I put my hands on my hips and I just look down at him. You look very dirty.
How rude! I just need your help, please.
Fine. And I like walk over to like pull on his arms, I guess, to pull him out from underneath his body.
Wait, why are you touching me? Who are you?
I like let go of him really fast. You wanted my help.
Who are you? I've never seen you in my life. Oh my God, am I doing it again? I'm sorry. If I don't write things down, I forget, you see.
You forget. You forget talking to me just a few moments ago.
Oh, hello there. How are you?
Oh, Jesus. I like look around to see if there's any other people that can talk to him instead of me.
When people in the capital ask, why is the Court of Swords with its own full army and all the riches of the court, why are they losing a battle against a mere necromancer? This is the reason why. This right here. This is why. I think
desperate, you gotta take anyone
exactly.
you can get.
Yeah. I think Dim's squawking has unsettled a bunch of crows that are nearby, and they flutter off of what initially appears to be a corpse. Right, it's a huge man covered in blood, lying sort of face down in the bloody muck. But at the squawking of the crows, we see the body twitch. And kind of roll over onto its side and groan. Its eyes flitter open. We can see it kind of roll back in its head. What was Mop? What was the last thing that you saw before you were knocked unconscious? Did you go down fighting, or were you part of the retreat?
No, I went down fighting. But how did you say I lost my eye? Or you just said I had a wounded eye, right? So
you don't even know you feel a terrible pain in your head, and your vision is blurry. But yeah, you don't even know you've lost the eye yet.
Right. Okay. Well, then I'll just make it up. The last thing I saw was, what's a cool way to lose an eye? I probably just had someone some shitty fucking just low level grunt in the enemy faction charging at me with just a dirk, and he just stabbed me in the eye, but it didn't go really past the eyeball, and he pulled it out.
Right, so that's the sort of horrific flash sideways, right, where we see you kind of roll over and groan, and then we see from your perspective, we hear the muted sounds of battle, the kind of shouting, someone screaming in the background like run, and then we see somebody like you're trying to pull yourself free, you punch a zombie in the face, he goes down, and then someone just a human soldier dressed in black like farmer's clothes comes up behind you, and he's got a white sort of skeletal like face paint on, like a skull paint on his face. He grabs you, and then like just jams the knife in your face.
Yeah.
And that's the last thing you remember is that sudden sharp pain and then darkness.
Yeah. When he jabbed it in the eye, it like literally took the eyeball out, and then he ripped that off. So the stem's still there, but the eyeball's not.
Okay. So do you wake up like screaming and grab your face, or because it's like sudden pain? Right?
I think I'm still. I mean, I think I'm in shock probably when I first wake up, realizing that I'm missing an eye. So you said I rolled over, so that's probably when I noticed it. Is when like the eye thing, the arteries or whatever, like flap onto the side of my face.
I think what the word you're looking for here is exposed nerve.
Yes, the exposed nerve flaps onto the side of my face. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, so DM and Daxa, you see this, and maybe at first, you're a little worried that it might be the dead coming back to life because you've seen that happen. But then, and then he starts screaming and like grabs his face.
So I like kind of walk closer to him, but not super close. And I like kind of drew my rapier because I wasn't sure if he was a bad guy or not. It's like, stop screaming. What's wrong with you?
I don't stop screaming. I just continue to scream while I hold my eye, and you just see blood all over the right side of my face.
And he's not like gushing blood now. Like the wound is bad, and it's gonna need some proper medical attention. But he's not in any risk. He's covered in like other people's blood, most of which, because it's so damnably hot, most of it has already congealed.
Sir, I have the power of the Arcana at my will. I can help you. I have a healing spell, and I start channeling a healing spell.
I'm just screaming. I don't acknowledge one way or the other.
And then your head is now covered with the mask of a perfectly perfect face. Just an illusion of you can't see the wounds anymore. There's an illusion around your whole face now.
So Daxa, this forgetful arcanist has suddenly healed the injured monk like near perfect. He seems fine. He's still screaming and flopping around, but his face is unharmed.
Yeah, I think while still screaming, or at least exuding some sort of in agony, I like take out my dagger and go to find something on fire, and I'm gonna try to heat it up.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So we follow you as you stumble through, and there's definitely like kind of baleful looking like green fires kind of like lit throughout the battlefield. I think at some point there was a magical like mortar attack, and so you stumble over to a bit of a crater. It's maybe like a meter across with some kind of like ball of melting pitch in it, and there's this kind of greenish, sickly looking flame kind of licking up from the object.
Yeah, I'll take the short sword that I have and put the blade at the bottom of the flame and try to heat it up as fast as possible.
Okay, so as we mercifully cut away from what you're about to do, we see a figure. Now it's he cuts a heroic shape. We can see him. He's on his knees. Like he hasn't even fallen all the way because he's propped up by like spears and arrows like shoved into his armor. So he's kind of like leaning back, and he looks dead because his arms are limp and his head is to the side, and he's got maybe like a spear stuck in his armor that's propping him up, and he's just like covered in wounds. And as we hear you, Mop, scream one more time as you cauterize your injury, we see this figure, this blonde, blood-stained figure. We see his eyes kind of like snap open all of a sudden. What do you do, Luther? You're brought back from the heroic death you expected, and you find yourself like pain all over. Armor weighing heavily on you, boiling in the heat, but alive. Surrounded by corpses, but alive.
Okay. I'll snap back open, and I'm going to take a long look without moving at the battlefield and just seeing if there's anyone left alive. Just taking it in. Taking in this terrible failure that I feel that I've caused.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we pull back, and actually this is a great shot to establish the character. We pull back and we can see the warriors, the men and women that joined you in your charge, the ones that, shields up, were there to like cut a swath so you could go after the commander in glorious one-on-one combat, and they're all dead like in an arc around you. You can see them just lying victims of some necromantic magic. And there's just like the dead kind of all fallen around you. And somehow you're alive.
Lean forward, and then tears start to run down my face, and I grab one of the spears and push it just a little deeper and try to mask the pain of my heart with the pain of the flesh.
Excellent. All right, so I think that because you're the most like together, Daxa. Yeah, you hear this. You hear a groan of grief and pain, and you look over and you can see Luther. And I think most folks in your part of the company know him. Like, know him to see him. He was considered kind of a hero. He had a lot of friends in the unit. People kind of rallied around him, and apparently he's still alive.
Great. So I like run over to him. What do I call? Do I call him Luther, or do I call him like Commander?
I mean, that's a good question for Luther. What was your rank in this?
Well, I didn't actually make the rank in this because I wasn't too sure how it fit in the world.
It's cool. Yeah, I mean, you can be whatever you want, commander, captain, whatever fits.
Yeah, let's say this is mine. This is my legion. I was leading them, and they're all dead. Commander, it is.
Okay.
Great. Okay. So I like run up, and he's like on his knees, so I also get down on my knees, and I say, Commander, don't think you're alive. Do you know?
Lunge back and look at you as you're speaking to me, and I'll reach out and touch your face. You're alive.
And I kind of back away, like, because he's dirty and bloody.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like back away, just like, do you? Yes. Do you know how to get out of here?
Is there anyone else? Is there anyone else alive?
Yeah, and so when you say that, we pan across from the two of you, and we continue to where Dim and Mop are. Mop, I assume you're like on your knees, like holding your face because horrible pain.
Yep.
Dim, are you just standing nearby watching?
Is that a prayer you monks do?
Right. So we see Dim.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we see Dim standing, ankle deep in corpses, just staring down at you, kind of confused. And the shot continues to pan across back to that sign that says Stoutwall and to the north. And we linger on the sign a moment, and a bloody crow lands on the sign, pecks it a few times, and then we fade out to break.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
3 hours left to go of this literal shit show. We'll see what happens when we come back with more Court of Swords. Or what are we calling this, Adam? We've been calling it the Necromancer King. Are we good with that?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
That's fine.
All right. Court of Swords, the Necromancer King, 2-shot. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a bit.